Can you tell us how the gallery was set up?
We went to study at the Sotheby's Institute of Art. We're doing an MA in art business. We always felt we wanted to be a gallery rather than being an auction house, but like the majority of the students there. We wanted to get closer to the arts and kind of closer to the process of working with artists, etc.
And on the other side of things, especially, we also started collecting emerging art, and we found out obviously that artists didn't have that type of support that the rest of the artistic community had. So that was also our dream, to set up a platform for emerging artists and give them obviously a blue chip venue in which to exhibit their art and grow as artists, and therefore grow with them as a gallery.
How do you seek to provide a platform for artists?
Firstly, we aim to build long-lasting relationships with our artists. So basically, the way we operate is a little bit different than other galleries. For example, our first show was an introduction to all our roster of artists who are all represented by eb&amp Gallery. And we, on the other hand, instead of doing this group show and then testing out the market and see what goes and what doesn't, we decided just to go with our instincts and, in artists we actually believe in, and represent them from the get-go. So exactly, long-lasting relationships, and we try to nurture them, build their career, and one day we hope to become an established gallery along with our artists. And eventually, we would love to take over, obviously, also material costs, studio costs.
Yeah.
And yeah, exactly. We basically try to work like a not-for-profit gallery, but obviously at the end of the day, we are a commercial gallery. So.
The misconception is that it's just the exhibitions are most of our time. This is really 20% of our time. The rest is really the career management side. It's putting into prizes, getting residencies, supporting them in terms of who they want to show outside, because we've only got exclusivity for Europe, but for say American, we consult on which galleries they should be dealing with, that type of jazz. So it's a full kind of career management service rather than
exactly.
How do you go about choosing the artists? What sort of research methods or processes are involved in that?
To begin with, we started with grad shows. That's always, if you're emerging artists, where you kind of start. So we went through, it was last year's grad shows, and from there you kind of build up a network. You kind of see what school styles there are, and those kind of school styles we like, and then we look at previous years. We've also had access and a collaboration with Acme Studios, and through them they've given access to their artists as well. So fortunately, me and Maggie have got similar tastes, so it was kind of just always first in our first taste, and from there you kind of look at your overall program and you think, okay, what are we lacking, what do we need, type of thing. So we took kind of 2 stages where we did about 6 artists that we absolutely knew we wanted, and then kind of built from there. We need a sculptor, we need this, we need, built it up from there. Because as you see from our roster, we've got quite a wide range of artists, video artists, installation, painters, etc.
It's really 360 degree of the art world, I guess. So. Yeah.
And would you say there's a connection between the 11 artists that you represent at the moment?
There is a slight connection, in the sense, obviously, the artist we chose wasn't based on a theme, or, as Nathan said, it was primarily based on taste. However, we saw that while we were putting together our roster, there was a common thread, which was that all of our artists react to space. So they're all very, in touch with their surroundings, and they build art from there. So, for example, our first show, Since Tomorrow, there was like this common thread through the show. Upstairs was obviously more architectural artists that focus on buildings and so forth, and then downstairs was more organic.
What's really interesting is your educational program that you're running. Can you tell me what you have planned for the future and the upcoming event?
Yes, absolutely. Well, in the immediate future, we have our first educational event, which is going to be in collaboration with London Design Festival. So it's going to be an design market analysis brought forward by Anders Peterson, who is the founder of Art Tactic, and the experience of Christian Zudunaga, who is obviously going to be our third show within eb&amp Gallery. And he will then talk about his experience, so passing from, he's a very well-known designer, but obviously he's passing on to fine art, so I guess his experiences, from passing through both worlds and so forth. And ultimately, obviously, we will bring forward other educational programs, such as, for example, artist career development, which will focus primarily on art students or artists that have just graduated, because we found that the gap between finishing art school and finding yourself a gallery, just being thrown into obviously the art market and the art world, is quite daunting, and people just get lost along the way, and so they don't know what to expect from galleries, they don't know what to expect in general. So we're trying to, give them a hand under that point of view. Then secondly, we'd love to do some educational programs on collecting art, collecting contemporary art. And finally, also on new curatorial practices, because obviously, the curating world is coming forth into various developments due to also, various new techniques and new media. So, yeah, that's primarily what we're doing. Yeah.
And finally, what's next for EBFLOW?
Well, the first thing is, as Katie mentioned, we've got Preview Berlin, which is really exciting for us. Being open over 3 months, we've gone into an art fair already, so we're really chuffed with ourselves about that. So that's going to be really exciting. We're working with Katie with that, and another artist called Rob Chavas. Yeah. So that should be great. Yeah. And then we've got Christian Zuzunaga show, the whole London Design Festival, which should be great. And we've got a tasty lineup up until we've got it until next year. October really planned, so we've got lots
stay
coming.
tuned.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.